Every week, a hidden machine prints money in your city, and almost nobody notices it. It doesn't sell iPhones. It doesn't run ads on Instagram. It doesn't need influencers. But it collects revenue with a reliability that most modern businesses can't even dream of. And here's the part that sounds crazy. In many places, trash is a protected monopoly, built on permits, infrastructure, and rules that make competition almost impossible. By the end of this video, you'll understand why one of the richest, most powerful industries in your city is the one you never think about, and why some people become millionaires simply by controlling where trash goes. Today, we're breaking down the silent wealth behind waste management. Not the feel-good recycling story, the real money engine: contracts, routes, landfills, tipping fees, and energy. We'll answer 3 questions. Why is trash one of the most predictable cash flows in the world? What makes landfills a powerful moat, almost like owning a toll road? How does trash generate revenue multiple times after it's collected? And at the end, I'll show you the one invisible lever that explains why pricing rises, even when nothing seems to change. Here's secret number 1. Trash is predictable. People don't stop producing waste. Businesses can't operate without disposal. Hospitals, restaurants, supermarkets, offices, everything generates trash every single day. That means waste management isn't chasing trends. It's not hoping for virality. It's not dependent on a new update or a new platform. It's closer to a utility, like water, electricity, or roads. And whenever you see a business that behaves like a utility, you should ask one question: who controls it? And how locked in are customers? Because locked-in customers create reliable revenue. Reliable revenue attracts capital, and capital turns boring industries into quiet empires. Most people assume the money is in recycling, but the engine usually starts with something far less exciting: routes and contracts. A waste company wins a territory, sometimes through city contracts, sometimes through private agreements. Then it runs routes like clockwork. The truck rolls, the bins fill, the invoices go out. Residential pickup is predictable. Commercial pickup can be even better, because businesses often pay more, generate more volume, and require more frequent service. And once a company gets embedded into a city or commercial area, switching becomes painful. You don't shop around for trash pickup the way you shop for sneakers. You choose what works, and then you forget it exists. That forgetfulness is exactly what makes it powerful. Now, here's where the story becomes much darker and much more profitable. The real moat in this industry is not the truck, it's not the route, it's the landfill. A landfill isn't just a dump. It's a licensed asset with permits, environmental restrictions, zoning battles, and limited land. In many regions, there are only a few legal places where trash can go, and that changes everything. Because if there are only a few approved disposal sites, then those sites become toll booths. Every truck that enters pays a fee. Every ton is measured. Every load becomes revenue. This is called a tipping fee, the price per ton to dump waste. And once you control a landfill, or you're closely connected to one, your position becomes incredibly strong, because now you're not just collecting trash, you're controlling where trash is allowed to end. And when you control the end point, you influence the entire chain. People hear the word monopoly and imagine tech giants. But waste management can be a local monopoly, and it often behaves like one. Here's why. Starting a waste company sounds simple until you realize what's required. You need trucks, expensive trucks. You need staff, maintenance, and fuel. You need route planning, compliance, and insurance. You need contracts, and most importantly, you need a place to dump the waste legally. If landfills are limited, and they are, then the landfill owners have leverage. They can raise tipping fees, they can restrict capacity, they can make it harder for small competitors to survive. So even if a new company shows up with a few trucks, it can still be locked out by the infrastructure. This is why the industry is quiet. It doesn't need to scream. Its control is built into the system. Now let's talk about the part most people never realize. Trash can generate money more than once. First, there's the pickup revenue, your monthly bill. Second, there's the landfill tipping fee, paid per ton, per load, every day. And then there's the afterlife of waste. Some landfills capture methane gas produced by decomposing trash. That gas can be converted into energy, electricity, heat, or renewable natural gas. So what looks like a pile of useless waste can become an energy asset. Then there's recycling and sorting. Even when recycling isn't the main profit, controlling sorting facilities can be powerful. Materials can be sold back into supply chains, plastic, metal, paper, depending on market conditions. So the waste company can benefit from collection disposal fees, energy generation recycling streams. That's not a single revenue line, that's a system. And systems scale quietly. If you want to understand silent wealth, watch what investors do. And investors love waste management for one reason: cash flow reliability. This industry doesn't depend on consumer mood. It doesn't collapse because a trend dies. It doesn't disappear when a social platform changes its algorithm. Trash is a constant output of modern life. And because it's constant, the business becomes predictable. Predictable businesses can borrow money cheaply. They can buy competitors. They can grow route density, meaning more stops per mile, lower cost per pickup, higher margins. That's why consolidation happens. Smaller companies get acquired, routes get merged, landfills become strategic assets, and slowly, without headlines, quiet empires expand. Here's the invisible lever most people miss: distance and capacity. If a local landfill reaches capacity or closes, trash must travel farther. Farther travel increases fuel costs, labor time, and operational complexity. And if there are fewer disposal sites in a region, tipping fees can rise. Because when options shrink, pricing power increases. So even if your trash pickup looks the same, the economics behind it may have changed dramatically. This is why prices can rise quietly, not because the truck is nicer, but because the system is tighter. Limited land, limited permits, limited capacity, and a constant stream of waste that cannot stop. That's the real leverage. So, the next time you see a garbage truck, remember, you're watching a cash machine on wheels, protected by infrastructure, regulation, and a destination that only a few companies control. Waste management isn't glamorous, but it's one of the most reliable wealth engines in modern society. And the people who control where trash goes often control the pricing of the entire system. In the next episode, we're exposing another invisible industry that decides what you pay every day without ever showing its face. Because in the world of silent wealth, power moves in silence.